Just take a breath and take it deep to show the world that you can see a life that's full of wonder, but it will never be enough.
Giving birth in Germany as an Indian expat was one of the most intense experiences of my life. From my water breaking unexpectedly to hours of painful contractions to finally holding my baby, it was a journey I would never forget. So, today I'm sharing my labor and delivery story here in Germany. Hi everyone, I'm an Indian living in Berlin, and today I'm sharing my experience of giving birth here in Germany. So, I wanted to be super comfortable for this video, so I'm sitting on the floor. I have my cup of coffee, and let's get started with the story. So, luckily, my pregnancy was mostly healthy, but the last few weeks were a bit stressful because my baby's weight was slightly on the lower side. So my gynecologist started calling me for weekly checkups, and I was also referred to a senior doctor at the St. Joseph Krankenhaus in Berlin, which was the same hospital where I was registered for giving birth. Even though the baby's weight was on the lower side, everything else was completely normal, which was reassuring. So my due date was 25th of February, but my doctors kept saying that I might go into labor earlier. So I had kept everything ready, like my documents, my hospital bag. I even started meal prepping at home. My parents were supposed to arrive on 10th of February, which I was so happy to have them with me. We even went out for dinner to Sarvana Bhavan, which is quite far, but it was really special. So on 12th of February, my husband went to work, and my mom and I kept unpacking everything which she had brought for me and for the apartment, and setting up the house. I already had started feeling some sensation as if the labor is starting because I was getting overtired. I was working all the time. So yeah, I think the labor process was starting. I could feel it. In the evening, my husband came home from work and took my dad out for some sightseeing. Once they were back, we had dinner and we went to bed. So every night before sleeping, my husband and I would speak to the baby, talk to him. So we were doing the same as usual, and the baby gave a really big, strong kick. And after some minutes, I felt my water had broken. So at first, I wasn't completely sure, so I put on a pad to check. And at the meantime, my husband and I did the final check of our hospital bag and kept everything ready. That night, I started getting contractions, and I was tracking the contractions on the app. But the contractions were not very intense, and they would not last very long. So the entire night, I kept getting contractions on and off, and I didn't sleep much. By morning, the contractions were getting closer and longer, so we decided to go to the hospital. My hospital, St. Joseph, was about an hour away from my apartment. So once we reached the hospital, they checked whether my water had broken and checked my dilation. Since I wasn't very dilated yet, they asked me if I would like to go home. But I preferred to stay in the hospital since I lived far away, so they admitted me. So I've come to the family room, and now they are just checking my blood pressure as well as the baby's heart rate. I was given a shared room because all the family rooms were full. So even if you have marked that you need a family room, it is based on availability. But I did film a quick room tour of my shared room.
So I've come inside the shared room at St. Joseph Hospital, and I'm gonna quickly give you guys a room tour of this because the person behind me is not there. So I'll just give the room tour. As soon as you enter, there's a bathroom here, and they have put stickers like red and yellow. Yellow belongs to the other person who's sharing the room with me, and red belongs to me. And here they have given all the essentials. So red is mine, and there is a shower there, and there is a call button in case of emergency. If any pain is there, I want to call somebody for help, I can just pull the plugs here. So the bathroom is pretty clean and nice, neat. And this is what the shared room looks like. This is my bed, my side. So again, the red side is mine, and they're given a locker in the cupboard there. In case of emergency, I can call the button for help. I can call the number. There's a small TV there, a small table, So this is for laboring in this room. Then afterwards they'll take me to a delivery room, and after delivery I'm hoping I get a family room. So in a family room my husband will be allowed to stay in the room. So there's a locker here in case you want to store anything like money or any other things. And there's a small cupboard here. So yeah, I'm hoping that we get a family room after getting the baby, because it'll be very helpful if the husband can stay overnight in my room. Right now in this room, he's able to stay I think till 8 in the night. After that, he'll have to leave the room. In case I go into like, I have to go to the delivery room, if they shift me there, then he can come there. So that's the process. And yeah, right now I'm gonna go to the cafe, have some lunch. It's 1:30. I came to the hospital around 7, and my contractions are around 3 minutes apart, but they're not just 30 seconds. So yeah, hoping it progresses soon and we get to see the baby soon.
So this is the room where they will be serving us breakfast as well as dinner, and they send usually the lunch for the patient to the room itself. So for breakfast and dinner, the menu was pretty much the same. We had bread, cheese, meat, coffee, and which I didn't mind actually. But if you're not used to eating bread, bring your own food. So the entire day I kept walking and moving so that my labor progresses, but actually my contractions slowed down. So at night my husband wasn't allowed to stay in the room because it's a shared room, which was honestly a bit difficult. So the next morning on 14th of February, which was Valentine's Day, the midwives told me that since it had been a long time that my water had broken, I would need to be induced. So I was ready and they gave me the first dose, the first tablet, but it honestly didn't do much. After lunch around 2 p.m. they gave me the second dose, and after that the labor progressed very quickly. So this was the room where I was brought in for getting induced. So they gave me the first dose of my medicine here, and then I slowly started getting contractions, and they were constantly monitoring the blood pressure, baby's heart rate, etc. After the first dose of medicine which they gave me, the contractions were still mild and I was trying to breathe through them. The contractions became extremely intense and I was screaming in pain. I am a very introverted person, and for me to scream like that, it was intense. I managed around until 4 p.m. without an epidural, but after that I was like, I need my epidural. But my midwife was busy with another delivery, so I had to wait until 5 p.m. for an epidural. So around 5 p.m. my midwife came and checked me, and I was around 7 centimeters dilated, so they took me to the delivery room. Because of the induction medication, the contractions were really strong and there was hardly any gap between the two contractions. I even started getting the urge to push, but since I was not fully dilated yet, my midwife asked me not to, but it was so hard. The urge was really strong for pushing. I really wanted the epidural at that point because I was exhausted. They did give me the epidural, but honestly it didn't help much. I was still in a lot of pain, and at one point I just couldn't wait anymore. I just felt like I had to push. So my midwife had to help me by manually opening my cervix, which was extremely painful. So initially I had said no to episiotomy, but my baby's heart rate kept dropping, so I agreed. And after what felt like forever, at around 7 p.m. my baby boy was finally born. He weighed around 1.9 kilograms. The moment he was kept on my chest for skin to skin, all the pain just vanished. I have no idea how that happens, but it was a magical moment. So after that I delivered the placenta. They stitched me up, and they transferred me and my baby to the room. Honestly, the first couple of nights were very tough because my husband had to sleep in the waiting area. He was exhausted, I was exhausted and sleep deprived, and handling everything alone in the night was really tough. Well, the husband or the partner can go home and come back later next morning during the visiting hours, but I preferred him staying in the waiting area just in case we needed him. So yeah, that's how we spent the first couple of nights. Since my baby was small, his body temperature was really low, and I had to do a lot of skin to skin to keep him warm. and the first 2 nights were very tough on us, but he developed jaundice, so we had to stay in the hospital for total 5 days, and later we got a family room, which made things much easier. I have to say the midwives were super amazing. They were very supportive, kind, and the most important thing that they spoke English, because I was not speaking German at that time. And whenever I needed help, day or night, they were always there. They made me feel very comfortable, and they took care of me and my baby really well. So I've even filmed how the family room looks like. So I'm sharing the difference between the shared room as well as the family room.
So this is the family room at St. Joseph. I'll give you guys a quickly hospital room tour. So we have 2 beds, one for the partner and one for the patient. And there are some wardrobes here, a table, and this is the bassinet. And we have a changing table with all the essentials that you need. And here also they store all the essentials like diapers and everything, as well as clothes which they provide for you can use when you are staying at the hospital for the baby. So yeah, and then dustbins and everything is there. So this is the entire changing station, and then this is the washroom. Let me switch on the light. So here also you'll find all the essentials they'll provide with pads and everything, disposable underwear, and you have a shower cubicle. So yeah, pretty much very nice and comfortable. Better than the shared room because you get your privacy and you can have your partner helping you with the baby.
Even if it was intense and challenging, my experience of giving birth in Germany was very positive. So if you're an expat and planning to give birth here, I hope this video gives you some clarity and reassurance. And if you have questions, feel free to ask in the comments down below, and I'd be happy to help. See you all in the next one. Bye.